Mom.
So today we've got myself, Mr. Kyle, as always,
Hello.
Jonah,
No.
Reptic will be joining us later, and then the special guest of Aspect. Yeah.
Aspect.
So any interested any interesting games for yourselves this week? Anything that kind of stands out for you guys, or something that you kind of enjoyed when you watched the games?
I think Vision X and GeForce, the new GeForce, I think that's going to be the standout game. Closely followed by Clinical and
Fearless 5.
Fearless 5. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's.
I think the GeForce one would have obviously shocked a lot of people. They've had a few changes in the within the squad. Just due to certain things that needed to be changed. And it's so much nice to have Flair and Shizney, in and around the community. Big shout out for them for being around for so long. But they just lost the feeling for Rocket League. People have done it. I've done it myself. I've felt in that way myself. But we've rebranded GeForce. Brought in Halo, brought in DP. Gonzalo's still there. Arjun's still as a sub, but trying to get him games is an awkward one.
Yeah, he's a busy little bee with schoolwork, and then also just motivation-wise, he doesn't really enjoy, the threes, but he's happy to fill in when needed, which is good enough.
Well, you were there for the cup. You filled in for the cup, Grizz.
Yeah, you weren't part of GeForce. You were just, you're a free agent, essentially, for the cup.
But yeah, so some interesting games, some very good games.
Coming off the game.
Yeah, I think Fearless 5 Lotus, I think that's going to be a really close game as well.
Yeah.
Velocity, I think, they really take it to Atlantis, that game.
Yeah.
And I think Miracle take it to Resurrection, but that's my game for a potential surprise. Can Miracle bounce back from their 3-0 defeat?
Yeah.
Resurrection might be able to take advantage of, a bit of confidence issues there.
This is the thing now, we're coming to a point of we've not really had a proper upset, I don't think, up to now. Someone's got to do it before the end of this season. There has to be that team that that gets that upset. There's no way that we go 11 weeks without a team that's you're not expecting to win, get that win. There's no way we go without it.
Yeah, the bye's undefeated, Jeffo. We can't beat them. There's no point in trying. Just accept our fate and move on.
Yeah.
So we've got starting with the games for next week. Then we've got Fearless 5 and Lotus. Lotus had a tricky game this week. Lost to Euphoria 3-0. Mentals, kind of lost when Seb lost connection. But they were a team that were on form. They were building some good chemistry. Still are building that good chemistry. So it'd be interesting to see of what they can take to Fearless 5. Especially if they can bounce back and recover the form of what they had. I think this is going to be a game 5, and I'm going to go in favour of Lotus. So I'm going to say 3-2 to Lotus. Like I say, chemistry between Lotus is unbelievable recently. It's unfortunate that they fell apart within last week. And Fearless 5, the way that they chop and change the players, with who they play is good. It's good for getting everyone involved. But as a team, it slightly disjoints it. We've seen it throughout the last few weeks as well. They go from playing absolutely unbelievable to then, they swap out and the chemistry just disappears. So for me, it's a 3-2 Lotus.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite way. I'm going to have confidence. They've not had the best of runs, Fearless 5, but I have confidence in Tornado, Rex, and the boys that have good team. They've just not. I think it's just the rotations. Maybe let them down. But I'm going to go 3-2 to Fearless 5.
I'm going 3-1 though. Yeah, they got a good chemistry. I mean, Euphoria was better just this week. And I hope they can turn it around because they are a very good team. Like in the beginning, they were like just a team that needed to grow, and they are growing good. I want to see that up growing still. So.
There you go.
Wee car for the wee man. Yeah.
Well.
I was just wondering why Grizz got timed out. But yeah, I was just going to take over for you and say up next is Clinical Mastermind and Juice, a very interesting game.
Yeah, a very interesting game indeed. As a player for Clinical, we're in, I'd like to say, very good form. We're from the bounce back of the Velocity game that we lost, the bounce back from that, taking the next 2 games we took.
Yeah, you beat
Vision 3-1 and then Fearless 3-0.
Yeah.
So the bounce back of that is incredible. It's good to lift the motivation. But same with Juice. They played very well today. They got the 3-0 win. They held the nerves, saw out a 3-0 win. They didn't take it to a game 5. So very well played to you boys. I'd like to think that we take this 3-1. Potential a game 5, but I'd like to say we take this 3-1.
Is that Reptic joined in?
Yeah, I was sitting already.
Hello, right. I am going to go bold here.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go bold and I'm going to go for Juice 3-2. More hopeful and wishful thinking. But yeah, I'm going to go Juice 3-2. They looked very good tonight. If they play the same team, they've definitely got a good chance. But even if Aaron was to fill in for Weeb, Aaron, I'll speak highly of Aaron. If Aaron can just get a bit of consistency, a bit of confidence, he'd be up there with some of the best GCs that we have. But I'm gonna stick my neck out and go for a small upset. I wouldn't say it's a massive upset, but definitely a small upset. Juice to win 3-2.
Mr. Jonah?
And the game 5 win.
Yeah, the game 5 win.
For us. I'm going fully bald. 3-0 for us.
I would say that's bold. I would say that's...
Yeah, I was going to say that's you going for us every week. You've either said 3-1 or 3-0.
But the thing is, I don't want to speak a lot about the cup, but we played them in the cup, and it wasn't Brooks playing, it wasn't Reptic playing.
Oh yeah, it was a completely different team. It
was a completely different team. They're like, oh, okay. They know that, but still, they're gonna not expect what's gonna happen. That's just the thing. We're gonna bring out fucking guns blazing and just.
We need an F-bomb counter. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Swiftly moving on for that. So Reptic, you've just joined us. So we'll go back for the recent game. So Fearless 5 and Lotus first.
Fearless 5 Lotus. I reckon Fearless 5 take that 3-1.
Yeah. Any reason?
I think the aggression of Fearless 5 is just going to break down the. I'd say Lotus play more midfield, so I think Fearless 5 is just going to battle them with offense, to be honest.
Yeah, and then obviously the Clinical Juice game.
I reckon we take that 3-0. I think we're just looking the best we've ever looked. Very consistent all over the field. I think just pressure alone, we beat them.
Fair enough. There we have it. Kyle's gone for the bold approach. Obviously, Clinical pretty much, you'll always back each other. But like I say, Juice are a very good team. Biggest respect to them, and it'll be an interesting game. It'll be a very interesting game. So next up, we got Velocity and Atlantis. Velocity, outrageous. They're looking very strong. Obviously, unfortunately, they lost against Vision X this week. But they did take it to a game 5. Vision X are a very strong team in themselves. But Velocity taking that game all the way, and like I say, they seem to be increasing in confidence. They seem to be increasing just altogether. Compared to the Velocity that we saw at the start of the season to the Velocity that we're now seeing, it's like a whole different team. And it's going to be unfortunate for Atlantis, but I think that Velocity take this 3-0.
You go, Jonah?
Yeah, I think the same. Velocity takes it 3-0 against Atlantis. I mean, Atlantis, they still need to grow with their new team. That's gonna be hard. I mean, yeah, that's what I think. It's gonna be hard for them. And I mean, Velocity is on a big role. I mean, they lost to Vision X, but they still almost won the game. So
Yeah, and yeah, I think you'd be silly to not go 3-0 to Velocity. Atlantis not picked up a single point. Looked pretty good. The first 2 weeks. But couldn't finish it off, and they just seem to have got worse. And people coming in and out, they've not been a settled team, and I think that's really sort of hindered them. So yeah, I'm going to go the same. I don't see any other result than 3-0 to Velocity.
And Mr. Reptic?
Yeah, I agree. 3-0 Velocity. Velocity are looking better and better every week. Of course, they took the loss against Vision X, but Vision X, I think, playstyle, this complete playstyle mismatch. But I don't think any playstyle is going to beat Velocity in this match. Just up pure speed mechanics alone. I think Velocity just take it 3-0.
I think it's going to be, it's difficult for... Give up then. It's Kyle.
Hello.
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 Yeah, it's going to be difficult for Atlantis, very much a rotated team. A very much rotated team, there's not been a very strong side sitting on that. They've had near enough a different player either every week. I don't think they'll probably get settled in the next couple of weeks. I don't know whether they play together. But it would be interesting, if they do, if they have been playing together, they have been building that chemistry. We never know until that week. But obviously, on the basis of what we know, it's got to be a Velocity win. So moving on, we've got Miracle and Resurrection.
Yeah.
I'd like to go. I think Miracle are going to take this 3-2.
Yeah.
As much as Miracle is a really good team, I really don't know how they get the wins they do sometimes. And after I said every week I've been on here, Resurrection should be better than what they are showing in the table.
Yep.
And I think there's potential of that coming out in this match. Just specifically because Miracle have so many gaps in their playstyle. So I reckon Miracles they just get the edge, but I reckon it's gonna go 3-2.
Jonah?
I'm thinking 3-1 Miracle.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost to G-Force, but still they are a very good team. What Reptic said, I don't know how they do it sometimes winning, but they do it. So 3-1.
yeah, I think this is kind of a tough one. Obviously Miracle left out Gravesy this week, which for me is an absolute outrageous move. Graves is always been that middleman for Miracle, always been able to make something work for that team, and for him to be left out, whether it be whether they just wanted to try out Charlie, whether it be he just couldn't make the game, but I think that player to be left out is crazy, and I think if they play the team that played against GeForce, I think Resurrection do have that small chance. There's no disrespect to any player on the Miracle side, but I think Gravesy adds that strength to the team. He's already got the chemistry. Charlie's having to learn everybody. He's having to learn not only playstyles of other people but his own team. So I'm going to say 3-2 Resurrection.
Yeah, and I think it's absolutely criminal that, in my opinion, they left out one of the best, certainly the best champs that have played this season in BGCS. I was shocked that Gravesy wasn't playing. I think it's, that was a tactical disaster for Miracle this week, and I think, if they play Gravesy, I think they win the game 3-1. But I'm going to go with you. If they don't play Gravesy, I'm going to go Resurrection 3-2. I think that's their chance. I really think it was criminal. Gravesy is definitely up there. If there was a team of the season so far, if we were going to do that, he'd definitely so far be in that for me. He's been, from game one, the first game he played where I thought he didn't look that great, he's proved me wrong from then. He's been outstanding.
So I think we've gone pretty split down the middle. Two of us have gone for Miracle, 2 for Resurrection, but I think like Kyle just said, it sways. It depends on the player that plays for Miracle. We see the team that plays every other week, either Hexos, Gravesy Dash, or Bale Gravesy Dash. Them teams are strong. Obviously, unfortunately, if Gravesy does get left out again or he can't make the game, then I think that's why I go for what I went with for Resurrection. And then last but not least for the week will be GeForce and Vision X. Gonna be a tough. I think it's gonna be a tough game for Vision. Obviously Vision have picked up. They played against Velocity, won it 3-2. But GeForce, the way that they played in that game with Team Miracle, they looked a very strong side. They looked very, very good. Obviously, the addition of Halo added into that GeForce team, outrageous. The goals that he got, the plays that he did himself. And his team, pretty much adapting to that play style of allowing Halo to play. I think it'll be a tough game for Vision, and I think it'll go to a game 5, and I'm going to back GeForce on this one and say 3-2 GeForce.
Yeah, it's a good prediction overall. I would personally say 3-1 GeForce. I think Vision X aren't ready for what Halo can bring out mechanically. The only way I see this going Vision's way is if they can find out how to shut them down early in the series. But from experience playing the man, he seems to just be able to switch whenever he wants to whatever playstyle he wants, whenever he wants. So they do figure him out. There is a chance he will be able to change his playstyle from, because as much as you guys haven't seen him on the ground, he is crazy on the ground as well. So as much they might think they have his playstyle in the air, he can switch up in an instant. So I think GeForce take it 3-1.
Yeah. Me, I said it, during their game and after their game. I really do believe that, Halo is right up there, if not better than Reptic. And I've said it to wind you up, Reptic, but I'm starting to be a believer in Halo. But having said that, I think Vision X are just going to have, I think their chemistry that they'll have together, I think their defense will be good enough. And I'm going to go and I'm back Dwarf and GCI and Janego or Brian, whoever they play, and I'm going to go 3-2 Vision X. I believe that they'll do it, and they've got one thing that GeForce don't have is they have that title race, that extra bit of inspiration to know, right, we win this. That puts us in a great spot to win this league. So I'm going to back Vision X 3-2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-2 GeForce. I mean, seeing how GeForce played against Miracle and scored 2 times 0-second goal, that's unbelievable. Like, not even getting in overtime, just dropping one in 0 seconds. Like, yeah. I think it's gonna be tough though. Like Vision X are much. I think a little bit better than Miracle. So that's why I think 3-2.
But yeah, that wraps up for us speaking about the weeks.
Euphoria, no game is gonna win again.
Nah, the no game wins every game.
The no games never won.
No, the no games never lost.
Yeah, the no games never lost. My bad. But any standout game that you look at and think I'm looking forward to that game, or it's the game that I want to watch. It's the game that I don't want to miss.
All I can say is please don't put GeForce and Vision X on Thursday.
Right.
Otherwise,
it won't be. I suppose it'll be Friday or Saturday. I think.
Yeah, because otherwise I might have to have a cheeky sick day.
But yeah, I think for me it's the Vision X and the GeForce game, and then obviously I'll be playing in the clinical one. But I think that one is also it's a big one for Vision. If we end up losing that game, it gives the chance for Vision to capitalize as long as they win their game as well. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. It's gonna be an interesting week. To be fair, there's still a lot of places to play for. Everyone's pretty close together. Obviously, the Euphoria have already had. Well, the Euphoria have got the bye week this week. The teams around them have already had it. So it'll be interesting to see what the results of them boys with what they can bring to the table, and we'll see what position Euphoria are kind of fighting for after that.
I think realistically, 4th place is, if we beat, I think we've got Miracle Atlantis left.
Yeah.
I would favour us to beat Atlantis, and then I'd still favour us to beat Miracle, but it'll be a lot trickier of a game. And I think if we do that, it guarantees us 4th place. And then we're going to have to hope Velocity lose one of their games. And looking at the games that they have left, me and Jeff have looked through it, and we don't see it happening. So I think 4th place is as good as we can get.
Yeah.
But if Velocity slip up one game, then we definitely got a chance.
I think there's a chance. I mean, I'm just saying, like Team Lotus is a little bit of the underdog of the league, I feel like. So I hope for you guys, and hope for Team Lotus, that Team Lotus wins against Velocity. I think it can happen, but they need to show up.
100%.
Someone want to drag in Mr. Aspect?
Yep, I'm well repped on it. Enough.
Get his input on game result week, and then we'll ask questions.
Welcome, Aspect.
Hello, little squeaker boy. Welcome on in. And Faceway, aka Aspect.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm very good. Well, I'm alright.
That's good.
Not great after that loss, but moving on.
Yeah, you you came up against a very solid Juice team tonight, you
Yeah.
know, and I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I mean, they played really well. There wasn't much that I think we could have done better. Juice had just been like a really, really good team.
It was a tight game all round. Every game was tight, you know. So don't be too disheartened.
Yeah, just because it was it's just because it was a 3-0 doesn't mean it weren't a close game, because score lines were pretty close.
Yeah.
So just running back on some of the games, get your predictions as well. So Fearless 5 and Lotus.
I'm gonna give it 3-2 to Fearless 5.
Yeah.
I think if like their team has that chemistry, if they play a team that they know they have chemistry with, they will just dominate Lotus, because their like forward play, their aggression will just be too much for Lotus to handle. And I felt like Lotus aren't a team that are aggressive. They are passive, and I just don't think they could handle Fearless 5's aggression.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going to say Fearless 5 3-2.
So then you've got Clinical and Juice.
I'm going to give it 3-2 to Clinical.
I thought you were gonna back with Kyle. Then I thought you were gonna go the opposite way.
I was thinking Juice, but then again, like, I just don't see them winning a game 5. I just they played really well today. Just I don't think they're better than Clinical.
Yeah, they're not at their best, but Clinical do have that wobble mentality that can creep in every now and then. And that's kind of what I'm going on. It's been a few weeks since that wobbly mentality came out from Brooks and Jonah.
We're all good.
So
Pressure get too much to them.
no.
Then you've got Velocity and Atlantis.
I think you just have to give it a 3-0 to Velocity. I just think they're too good not to get a 3-0.
Yes.
Even if Atlantis come with all of their strength, I just think Velocity are just better in every aspect.
Pardon the pun.
Funny that you say.
Yeah.
You've got Miracle and Resurrection.
I know I'd play for Resurrection, but the way that I'm playing at the moment and the way I think our team is playing, I'm going to give it 3-2 Miracle. Maybe 3-1. Yeah, I'm going to say 3-1 Miracle.
Yeah, it's very noble of you.
I think, because I think Crispy's going to be playing that game.
Yeah.
So I think we'll definitely have more offense, like better offense. So we'll take a game off them, but I just don't like with I think even with Hexus or Bell, their aggression will obviously just be too much for us to handle. I don't think we'll survive much against Miracle, if I'm being completely honest.
Well, me and Brooksy have got your teams back.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where you try and prove everyone wrong that's going against you, and even yourself. You're going against yourself, so it's something to prove for yourself, and hopefully get that win.
I definitely think we have the ability to win, but with I think our mentality is just not there at the moment, at all.
Yeah, it's always been the tough thing with you and Christian. You're very, hard on yourself players. When things aren't going your way, you should try and take more of an approach that Hamish has. Try and be a lot more just calm and try and enjoy it rather than take it so serious.
Yeah.
And that really is the best way to go forward.
Hamish was telling Christian during the match, just think of it as a casual 3v3.
Yeah, just try and have fun. Because you play a lot better when you're having fun and when you're relaxed.
That's something that I definitely need to improve on.
It takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got G-Force and Vision.
I'm going to go bold. 3-0 G-Force.
That's very bold for a 3-0.
I mean, I think you're the only one that has gone fully bold.
Yeah.
Because I think Vision X are going to come into this, not cocky, but I think they're going to come over this overconfident. And I think that Halo is just going to show what he's about. And especially against Miracle, he showed how good he is. But I think he's going to elevate his game to the next level just to overcome Vision X. And I just see the biggest upset of the season happening with GeForce beating Vision X 3.0.
Yes, I don't think it was. That is on league table. Yes, it would be the biggest upset, but this is it's essentially a completely different GeForce team that started this, and that's, you hit a sort of nail on the head there, where Vision X might look at their position in the league table and somewhat underestimate them. But I think Dwarf and GCI are smart enough to, Dwarf knows what Halo's all about, seen them and played against them, in RSC, and yeah, they definitely won't underestimate them, I don't think. But there's a possibility that they could get a bit lackadaisical.
But then my argument to that is how Dwarf knows about Halo. Halo also knows how Dwarf plays.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also I think GCI is kind of wrong there, saying if they just demo Halo. I don't think Halo would let you demo him all the time. Like,
I was just about to say that, GCI. You can try and demo someone, but when a player, it's like Reptic. You don't see Reptic getting demoed that often in BGCS because people can't get to him, and when they do get to him, he positions himself in a way where he's getting a slight bump rather than a demo or a big bump, and that can be the difference.
So we're gonna move on to Team of the Week, and then we'll come back and ask some questions. Aspect. Anyone ready for Team of the Week? Anyone as a full team? The only thing I know
two of my players. That's it. I know two so far.
I think
the only thing I haven't done is add as the game that's just happened, which can be sorted out.
I can't actually see the stats, so I don't know who to choose for my third champion.
You could do it if you go to in the Discord BGCS info and then click on Season 2 League. There's a wee link in there that says Season 2 spreadsheet.
I'll send it you.
Or Reptic can just do that.
Cool. Yeah, that'll make it easier.
Yours is not updated.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah, I'm doing it now. So that game won't be updated, bro.
I've got two of mine. I just need that third, and I'm struggling. Yeah, struggling for the third. I thought I had a third, but I didn't have a third. Yeah, I will start us off because I think I've got my third. Right?
I think I've got mine now as well.
So I'm going to go for GC. I'm going to go for my teammate, Jeffo. I thought he was outrageous. This is his first proper game. I know he played last week, but under the circumstances and the situation that we were under last week, I don't think, I'm not going to fully count that game. I think this was his first week where he was playing in a team that we were all settled, enjoying the company. And yeah, he shined, in the 3 games, getting 7 goals, 2 assists and 5 saves. That's an unreal contribution. And I think he had an average of 500-600 points per game. That's an unreal contribution. And yeah, I definitely think he deserves the GC spot from me. And then for my champ, I'm going to go for Jonah, Mr. Juicy himself. I think he really stepped up to the plate this week, getting 5 saves, 4 goals, 3 assists, just all-round rotations were good. I think we watched because I missed the game, we watched the replay back, and the last 2 games might have not been the most entertaining games, but that's because you just shut down. You shut down everything that Fearless 5 had to offer. And yeah, Jonah definitely
thank you.
definitely deserves that vote. And then my next one, I'm going to go for the man, the myth, the legend, the NPC himself, Mr. GCI. And it was close between GCI and Janego. I was going to give it to Janego, but then, you know, Janego has had it before, and, you know, yeah, he could deserve it again this week, but I think GCI, he's not had the best of, since his ban, GCI hasn't looked the best, and I think he really, you know, stepped up this week. Yeah, there was a few questionable bits, like flying towards his own net, and, you know, questionable going for the ball, but I think he really did step up and improved his gameplay. He hit a really nice sort of air dribble. I remember air dribble sort of double tap. And yeah, that's my three. I think, you know, that second champ was hard to pick for me. But
Yeah,
that's the three I'm going for.
I'm going for also Jeffo. Stat wise, just the most outstanding stats. Yeah, in the games as well. He just played like a GC that he needs to be. For my first champ, I'm going GCI as well. I mean, even that he's played in the Merc, and I agree on that, Kyle, that he needs to stop changing cars.
Yeah, yep.
And yeah, he just played overall just fine, just like a champ. And even that they lost, I'm gonna get to Charlie. I think he played just a decent match. Could have been better, but stat wise, I think he comes out as well. Very nice. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's for a 3-0 defeat, getting those kind of stats.
Yeah,
pretty
4
decent.
goals, 1 assist, and 5 saves. So it's pretty decent.
all right. I think for the GC, I'll have to go Halo. He showed everyone what he was made of this time round. I believe. I think that was an unreal performance. Miracle have been surprising us season after season, and just for him to shut them down like that, I think that's crazy, to be honest. Then for my champ, I'm gonna have to join the crowd and say GCI played insane to get that win, even in the car he was using. Yeah, he showed a lot more this week compared to other weeks. It really impressed me. And then for my other champ, I've lost it now.
He's gone.
Oh, I need to come back. I just can't remember.
Should we like Aspect?
Got yours, Aspect.
Yeah. For GC, I'm going to go because I've played first hand against him. Weeb. I think he was like every time we got the ball forward, he was there. Always perfectly positioned, always cutting off our lines of hope for attack. We just didn't have a chance. He was always there, always passing, always getting that perfect shot off the crossbar. Was like we couldn't do anything. Like he always had perfect shots. His passing was amazing. His cutting off, his rotation. I think he's, in my opinion, the smartest GC in BGCS. Maybe apart from Dewar. I think he's just so hard to play. He's just incredible. And then for my first champ, I'm gonna go for GCI. I think GCI played very, very well in his match. And because I've known him for a very long time, I've seen how he can play, and he played so much better than I've ever seen him play before. Especially after that game week ban. And then my third champ, I'm gonna go for DP. Because I think he he doesn't get a lot of credit now because he's got Halo on his team, and I think he's very underrated because he's not going to get to shine with Halo. Halo's going to take all of the spotlight, and I think if you take out DP of that team is definitely not the same, and it's definitely not going to be Miracle like they did before. So that's my team of the week.
Very nice.
Got your third. Found the missing player.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed him because he's on my team, but I have to go with Jonah.
That's disrespect right there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I laughed then, and if that was gonna be me, I'd look like a right dick.
I was gonna think the same thing. I was like, he's not gonna say bro. I just saw it happening already. That wasn't gonna say you.
I think he held down the midfield a lot for us in that series against Phyllis. Overall, just strong player the whole series, and yeah, showed me what he can do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah. So for GC, for mine, I've gone with Halo. You know, it was a hard pick. You know, same with Jeffo. You know, Jeffo and Halo both come in. You know, at the first week of having a proper game. You know, of the first week of a full team, full comms, the full lot. And it were a tough one. You know, but I think Halo coming into the game of a team of that's had a lot of problems. And a team that hasn't lost until I think for a good 5 weeks. Miracle haven't lost for a good 5 weeks now. So the fact that they they beat that team that's pretty much in form is it's good to see. So it's just why for me it was a hard one. It's a hard one to choose. So I go for Halo for my GC. I go for Taku as one of my champs. I think he had a very good game in that Juice game with Resurrection. Stat-wise, 3 goals, 2 assists, and 4 saves. But the way that he played in that game, played very strong second man. He was always there to back up, the shot if his teammate missed it. And I think stat-wise, his majority of a call, of why I choose a player anyway is majorly on stats. But I think overall certain things that doesn't get covered is when he plays the passes and it turns into a team play and he doesn't get credited for it. And I think he played very 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 strong today. and compared to the Taku that we saw last year, I'm gonna pull it up of it's a completely different player. Very very good transformation of Taku. And it's nice to see, it's nice to see that he's keeping his head and he's playing very well with it. And yeah, I'm jumping on with everybody else with this one is GCI. After the fair few weeks that you've had, you've not had the best weeks. You haven't had the best weeks. But this week, you played very well. You got some decent goals. You got some decent plays. Like Kyle said, there's a couple of times you headed towards your own goal, which risky, but it worked out. Your team more than likely knew what you were going for. Obviously, I was watching it as casters. It's going the wrong way. We had it with DP last season where he joined the wrong team and scored in the wrong net.
No, I forgot about that. That's brought back outrageous.
And that was a good one. That was a funny time and. And there's a couple of times that I thought you were going to do that as well. So for me, it's there's my team: Halo, GCI, and Taku. So absolute nailed on this week is GCI.
I think Jonah as well. Jonah got 3 votes, did he not?
Jonah got 2. Jonah got 2. Charlie got 1. DP got 1, and Taku got 1.
I didn't vote myself.
We run the four-way vote on.
So that one's going to be a vote. Right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, because there's not, even though Jonah got 2, it's not a clear majority.
And then obviously you've got a vote for GC as well. Jeffo got 2, Halo got 2, and then Weeb got 1. So is Weeb involved in this?
I would say no.
I would say no as well. I would say just 2 that are tied.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially for GC.
I think Weeb got it last week, right?
Yeah, and the fact that Weeb got it last week. But it's up to you. I think, I think if you're going to go that way, though, then there shouldn't be a vote for Jonah. Jonah should just get it. So it's either votes all round or no vote. Or, well, just the Halo and Jeff will vote.
Votes. No disrespect to you, Jonah, but, I think with it being so close, you've only got one vote. If it was 3 to, 3 to compare to everybody else, then yeah, I'd have given it.
Poopies. I needed to vote myself.
But yeah, so Weebrahim sits in that vote then. Jeffo, Halo, and Weeb for GC. You've got 5 minutes to vote. Make sure you vote in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get your vote in.
Alright, cool. I know who I'm voting
for. Right, so I mean, while Team of the Week's running, is anybody got any questions for Mr. Aspect himself?
Yeah, I've got a wee question. It's a wee deep question. So, just going into a wee bit of your ban. You received a ban, what is it, 2 or 3 weeks? 3 weeks ago now?
I think it was
maybe 4.
5, so 3.
Yeah. What kind of actions did you do mentally to sort of, change your ways and behave a bit better? Like, what did you say to yourself when after me and Brooks had that conversation with you? What were you feeling, and how did you?
Well, I kind of just thought to myself, like, if someone had said that about my family, I would have flipped. Like, I would have said much worse. Like, if someone said that to me, I would have probably never spoken to them again, left, and like probably left the community if someone said that to me. But so I realized that like what I said was completely out of order. So, and then after like I'd realized like how like what I'd said was so bad in my mind, I felt bad and I apologized. But then I started thinking that maybe this is what I needed to like calm myself down. So I just like accepted it. I was kind of glad that I got a week off. So it like took pressure off. And then it also meant that the week after I could try and like help my team's mentals get pieced back together and try and keep our team up. So that's kind of like how I dealt with it.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, and that's really what the bands.
Ice cream. Yeah. Thanks.
That's what the bans like. We're not banning and timing people out the Discord to upset them or make them angry. Especially a lot of the younger ones like yourself, GCI, Trident. We do it because we genuinely see the potential that you have as people, and you just need that guidance, and these bans just help let you see the errors that you make and how to improve. And that's the whole point of them. To anyone that has been banned and anyone that will be banned in the future, and some of you, like yourself, GCI, Trident somewhat, do turn it round, behave, don't really make the mistakes again. But then you've got other people, that I'm not going to mention any names, that, get banned once, twice, 3 times, and they don't change, and they just they're stuck in their own head, and, that's, they just need to learn, and that's what this is all about. Well, yeah, Trident, you know why. But yeah, it's just think about what yous are doing and what yous are saying, especially when you're in open public chat. People will snitch on you. If you say something wrong, people will come and snitch on you. And I agree with that, because and you don't think of it as, oh, that person snitched on me. No, they're
No.
actually doing good for you.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was my question to you. Thanks for answering it honestly.
That's fine. I've got questions for you guys.
Oof.
Okay. Oh yeah, I mean you're the first person to have questions for us guys.
Yeah.
Who do you actually think is gonna win the league? Who's your final prediction to win the league?
Well, mine's is Clinical. Even though I voted against them, I still think they beat Juice. As I said it on my prediction, it's more wishful thinking, Juice beating Clinical. But it's in their hands. They win all their games now. I think that pretty much secures them the title.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's I think they win their last 2 games, and I think that's good enough, you know. But if they do slip up, I think it's Vision X, you know. Just think this week's the telling week, in my opinion. You know, I think if G-Force get beat off Vision X and Clinical win, I think that's game over.
Yeah. I don't want to be biased, but yeah, I think we win the league. I mean, Vision X needs to win against G-Force, otherwise we're gonna run away with it. I mean, what Kyle said, like, this week is the saying of, okay, who's winning? Because if we lose and Vision X don't, then we need to win the next week, especially, or we get the bye week. So
yeah,
that's Team of the Week champ.
Yeah,
Vote up, everybody.
The Team of the Week champs up. Jeffo wins GC for Team of the Week. And like I say, I think I think it could have gone either way for Jeffo and Halo. He already got it last week, and he's shown everything what he's about. But I think these two players that have just come into the season, they've got a lot of shoes to fill to just to show what they're about and add the quality in. Yeah, and to answer your question aspect, I think you're gonna get they're gonna get a lot of the biased answers just because we're pretty much all clinical. But I think what Kyle has already said there is if we make the mistake, we lose it mentally. Vision of the team that can snatch it away from us. I'd like to think that we continue the form that we've got. Going into the Juice and the Miracle game that we have left. So on that part of it, I'd like to think that we take the lead because of that. But anything can happen on any of the weeks. Anything can happen to something happening in somebody's life that ruins it mentally. And that one person mentally affects the full team. And it was speaking from experience, when we lost to Velocity, we all weren't there. We struggled, and that showed with how we played. Killian tried his hardest to keep us motivated, to keep us going, and unfortunately it wasn't meant to be, and that's where our slip up happened. So we fall into that again. Vision take it, but I think if we continue the way we are, I think we take the league.
Yeah. Reptic?
Mr. Reptic.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're looking more consistent every week, just as as we're getting more used to each other's playstyle. Even though it's been 7 weeks, like you can still get better. Yeah, and I don't personally see us slipping, but as Brooke said, anything can happen. But I think even if we drop a series, what is 100% possible, I think we're still going to end near the top. I know that wasn't the question, but I thought I'd add it. I think we're still going to end, top 2, top 3.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty much guaranteed top 2 now. as I say, if you capitulate and lose both your games 3-0, I think that's Euphoria's only chance of winning. And then Velocity, need you to lose, one game really badly.
Yeah.
I also, my personal opinion of who's going to win the league is obviously Clinical, because I'm sticking by my prediction of GeForce to beat Vision X. Maybe not 3-0. That was like maybe a bit too bold, but I definitely think GeForce take it. If GCI keeps up his gameplay, then maybe it's a different story, but I just don't see Vision X beating GeForce. So I think Vision X will come second and Clinical will come top. And then I do think Velocity will slip up, and I think Euphoria will get third.
I don't see a slip up from Velocity. They've got the easiest running out of all the tops. They play Atlantis, Resurrection, and Lotus, which is 11th, 9th, and 8th. Lotus could beat them, but I don't see it. But Lotus is about the only hope.
Yeah, I don't have other hopes in other teams to win against Velocity, to be fair. Not mean against the other teams, but like...
It's a slim chance, but it's a chance, just like we've got a very, very slim chance of everyone falling to bits and Euphoria racing over the line.
I
but
mean,
yeah,
that would be outrageous. But I would.
As I said, I'm going round Vision X team and Clinical team, and some fingers might be abused, shall we say?
I think my team is going to come last or second last.
No, you're not. You're not getting. I don't think Atlantis win a game.
I don't see us beating. I mean, our games left are Miracle, Vision X, and Velocity.
Yeah, but remember, you've got 6 points advantage over Atlantis.
Yeah, I don't see them doing.
Atlantis have got Velocity, GeForce, and Euphoria.
Yeah, three of the harder teams.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad that we've already played GeForce though.
Yeah, I think
I said the same thing.
Yeah, I think every team that's played them's glad, but it's a bit of the same thing happened last season. To finish, that's what's happened to Vision X. Is that a team's completely crumbled and became much stronger. Luckily this time it is a fair team still. It is 1 GC and 2 champs, whereas last season it was literally 3 GCs. But it's still. What was that? Sorry.
Did you say Finish had 3 GCs?
No, well, Finish played against 3 GCs. So Mischievous 3 last season was Crispy and
Sonder, Crispy, and Tornado.
Yeah, no, but prior to that, they weren't a good team. No offense to the old M3 team, but when the 2 people left, because I think wasn't it Crispy, Walshay,
Bale maybe,
and was it Furious Peas? Yeah, I think that was the 3, and then Walshay and Furious Peas left. And in came Tornado and Sonder. Sonder actually became SSL, I'm pretty sure, as it happened. And Tornado, who was champ, got to GC. And
same for Crispy.
The same. So it became essentially, and that cost Finish the title. Nearly cost Finish the title. So luckily it didn't in that case, but this is it's still a fair team. It's just a much harder team than what the rest of the teams around Vision had to play.
Yeah.
So there's the confirmed champ as well. We got Jonah as the Team of the Week champ, so well done, Tristan.
What a Team of the Week that is.
Jeffo, GCI, and Jonah.
Imagine that as an actual team.
It would be scary. It would be
That would
scary.
be crazy.
I think it would be a scary team for everyone involved, the opponents and the actual team itself.
Yeah.
Not knowing what Jonah and GCI are going to do, Jeff was going to be pulling his hair out.
Probably. or GCI maybe, because he got 2 Dutch players on his team.
Has anyone got any more questions or aspect?
Well, I've seen a wee question from Atomic Lupe. That he's got a question. Who is the best champ sub in the BGCS this season?
Champ sub?
So I'm going to add a bit more onto that. So who's the best sub that's came in and played a game? Because obviously you can't judge someone that hasn't played.
Okay.
So who's the best champ sub that you've seen come in, play a game and thought, oh, it's a bit of a surprise their sub?
I think this one's easy. And I think this has to go to Janago.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
If we're going only off champs, it's easily Janago. If champ subs, yeah, it's got to be Janago. Who else has come into a season, come in against probably at the time top 2 team Euphoria and come in and beat them? Like, who else has done that?
Yeah, that
I don't think anyone else can say that they have made that impossible. That's nearly an impossible thing to do. Come into a completely new team and be one of the best teams in the league.
Okay.
I think Brooksie wants to speak.
Double V is mine. He came in against Euphoria, I believe.
Yep.
And
we've been done by 2 subs. That's great for us.
But a player to come in, of a game that was, and for Double V to come in, he's not played any part of the season. He fit in that team very well. Obviously he's got the link up with Trident, who plays in the same ERS team. And obviously, Stealth in GC pretty much easily adaptable. But I think for, Double V to come in, he doesn't know anybody who he's playing against. He doesn't know anybody's play styles. I think he played very well in that game. But yeah, I agree with Janago as well. Janago's come in and shown what he's all about. But I think, Double V's done the same thing. Obviously it's just unfortunate we've not got to see much more from him.
What team did Double V play for again?
He plays for Velocity.
The one thing I will say against that is Double V didn't get the best of Euphoria, whereas Janago did at the time. Well, no, actually, Janago didn't even get at the time because Aqua lost his head over the.
Yeah, I was going to say neither did Janago.
That's season 14 from 5 years ago.
But for Janago, you look at it of this week. He's come in and played against Velocity. A very strong Velocity side. And
he got the best of Velocity as well.
Yeah, he got the very strong side of Velocity, and fair play to Vision.
And as I said, if Janago hadn't been, if I hadn't already picked and he hadn't already been Team of the Week, Janago beats GCI in my opinion.
I mean, there are a lot of players, right? I mean, Dash that came in and played.
Yeah, but I don't think Dash was a sub, was he? I think he just sort of came
Dash
right in the main spot.
Yeah, but
Dash was meant to be. So
if I look on the table,
because it was Gravesy and Degri, it was meant to be.
But then I'm pretty sure that Miracle changed Degri out because Degri was inactive or something like that.
Yeah, they changed Degri out for Charlie. So obviously, But the point that Degri came in inactive was the point that obviously Dash came in and obviously Dash started playing a lot more.
And I think, speaking on that, Degri, I think that was a very
you just can't get in.
Unfortunate because he was some player. I had the pleasure and unpleasure of playing with Bale and Degri in a scrim one. And yeah, Degri is he's a good player to play with. I enjoyed my playing with Degri. And yeah, it's a shame to lose him, and I hope he's I hope he becomes active again and gets into a team again, because it was a pleasure to watch him play and commentate over his games.
And I mean, also Eclipse stepped up for Juice.
Well,
Yeah,
you could flip that the other way. Luminity realistically started off as the sub. Come in and took Eclipse's place, and I think, like Kyle said earlier while we were casting, is they're two very, very similar players. So, it's whoever has the better week to stay in the team. And I think Luminity has done enough to try and keep out Eclipse as much as possible. But unfortunately this week, he got the ban. He wasn't allowed to play, so Eclipse has come back in, and I think Eclipse has played very well today. Again, you could go to the point of, well, Eclipse plays. Now that's it. You've lost your spot.
Tough decision for Juice on who they play there.
What? Ice cream. All right, Mummy, gonna get it then.
There was also another. Oh wait, no, sorry. Reptic still has to answer. My bad.
What was the question?
Not even listening. Bet you're coding, aren't you, Reptic?
The best champ sub that has come in to help a team.
That's champs.
Yeah, so basically the best sub that's came in and played.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one. I'll answer.
There was also another question which could be.
Yeah, it's Bale 2.0 is what I'm going to say right there.
Asked?
No, it's not Bale, but it's a Bale question, just
Yeah.
from Rex, not Bale.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good question, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a good one, yeah.
It's very underrated.
And I mean Sepp also as sub, because he's standing here on the table as sub.
Yeah, but see that there is players that are in the sub spot that
aren't a sub anymore. Like they are
I
yeah.
have to
players.
say, Eclipse said he was.
Yeah, as I say, I think everyone's been picked. And I'm also going to want to give out an honourable shout out to Jazzman. He's came in and played a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, you already know that question, Jeffo. It was Bale. But yeah, Jazzman came in. He played, I think, 2 games.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and yeah, just a good honourable mention. Someone that didn't know if he'd have time, and didn't know if he wanted to play. And you might have not seen the last of Jazzman. You definitely see him in the cup.
Yeah, 100%. We'll cover a little bit about the cup just before we close out. So yeah, the question in the chat then from Rex: 3 underrated champs and 3 GCs.
Doesn't he mean like an underrated team of the season, or does he mean 3 different champs and 3 different?
So
GCs?
I'm guessing he means 3 different champs and 3 different GCs.
Look at what GCI saying in the chat.
Yeah, you'll find out about that later, GCI.
Just on that that whole paragraph of reading towards the back end of that sentence of "Don't be a snake."
No snaking.
Well, there is now. You're a GC.
See, you've done
Why
yourself
would
in.
you say that?
You've done yourself over, so now you're classed as a GC. Yeah, I'm only joking. Nothing's going to be confirmed until.
That will get you.
I mean, yeah, there you go. You are GC now. What I was going to say was I'm only messing about, and everything for ranks will be reconsidered for season 3. But now you are going to be classed as a GC.
I can't even say it.
So yeah, so 3 different champs and 3 individual players. So 3 different champs and 3 different GCs.
What, underrated?
That are underrated, yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of players.
Champs. I'm gonna go Hamish.
Yeah.
Good shout.
I'm gonna go Eclipse. And I'm gonna go DP.
Yep.
DP I know we've only seen for like 2 weeks, But
yeah, but you've also seen them all in season
Yeah.
1, you know, so
I think he's definitely underrated. And then for GCs is very tough. I think I want to say Christian.
Yeah.
definitely. Christian got his head. Christian got his head screwed on.
Yeah. The second GC, I genuinely don't know who to. I think I'm gonna say Flair. Now, that I'm gonna have to probably explain. And third, I don't actually know my third right now. I'm gonna have to think about it. But the reason I chose Flair is because when G-Force was struggling, I think Flair really. I don't mean to disrespect like Gonzalo and that. I think Flair was definitely carrying that team. Like,
Yeah, there's no doubt.
all of the offense came from Flair. All of the chances, all of the hope came from Flair. That team was hard carried by Flair when they were struggling. So that's why I'm going to say Flair is an underrated GC. I don't think he got that recognition just because of the team's performance and because like half the time Shizney couldn't show up or just didn't want to show up. But I still need to think about my third GC. So I'm gonna have to think about.
I do have 3 GCs. One of them's Hexos. I think he's a very good GC, and I think he is, he is underrated with how he plays for his team. My next one's Rex. Outstandable player, very good player. But again, with the rotation between Tornado and Rex, I think he gets unnoticed a lot because he doesn't feature a lot. And my third one's either Christian or Eclipse from Lotus. Obviously Eclipse has got a lot of individual quality, and I think there's still a lot that we can see from him. And the same for Christian. There's so much more we can see from Christian. And so really, I've given you four GCs there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Eclipse for mine.
Yeah.
Because when I played him in Lotus, he was so good. Like when we played his like, I think even when we played him, his team play was definitely. You could see signs of improvement and him putting in the effort to make his team as good as they could play the best as they could. He was probably the one rallying his whole team. He's been there since day one, and like he's been playing magnificent.
Have you got 3 champs, Brooksy?
No. I don't.
Well, I'm going to go because I've got all 6, I think. So, yeah, on GCs, I'll go first. I'm going to go with Christian.
Yep.
I always rated Christian. He just lets his emotions get the better of him. And that really does affect how he plays. When Christian is relaxed, confident, having a laugh, he is unbelievable player. But when he starts to get frustrated, if he's not in the right environment, that fuels his frustration and annoyance, and he turns into. Well, we've seen it. He's been posting in, general. It's criminal that he's playing down in C1 at the moment. And granted, I don't know if anyone's seen his screenshot of his teammate having 6 points. That is.
Man hit the ball 3 times.
That's unbelievable. I can't. I don't have words for that. Then my second player is also Hexos.
Yeah.
He's the real deal, and he's only going to get better the more game time that he gets. Unfortunately, he's, him and Bale rotate quite a lot. I'd like to see Hexos play a lot more. But then also, it'd be a shame to not see Bale play as much. But that would be my second. And then my third is Eclipse. I think, when Eclipse and Seb, are on the field together, anything can happen. We've seen the passing plays out of there. Eclipse, I think, doesn't get the recognition he deserves, especially how well he's done to turn that that Lotus team around that wasn't looking the best at the beginning. So yeah, that's my 3 GCs. And then the champs, I'm going to go Brooksy. I've always said it. And I'm also, alongside that, going to put myself. I think me and Brooksy, I think, a lot of people don't expect, we're not the flashiest of players, and we don't have, the mechanics that yourself, Sway, or GCI, or, most of the champs, Jonah, the list goes on. We, don't have that, but what we bring is, in my opinion, GC level, what's the word I'm looking for? GC level game sense. And that really helps us compete. You look at it, we're third in the league and Brooks' team's first in the league. So it just shows that mechanics aren't everything. If you can get your game sense up, that can take you a long way. And yeah, I really do think a lot of people, underrate me and Brooks and don't expect much from us. And my other one's going to be Hamish as well. I think he's very similar to us. Not the flashiest mechanics, but just game sense, good third man, and gets the saves and really helps your team in defence a lot of the time because you and Christian are very aggressive, players, and he just covers your back.
He's not only good on the game, he's also good mentally. If we had like a hot-headed champ, our team would be in ruins.
Yeah.
Worse than it already is.
I've got mine.
Cool.
For the 3 GCs, I was going to go Rex.
Yeah.
I think people think he's good, but I don't think people know how good he is. What I've seen from him in the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to pay more attention to how he plays, and I think he's unbelievable, to be honest.
Yep.
Eclipse, if he focuses, he is unbelievable as well. If he puts his mind to it, he can do what he wants. I think that's a lot of the time he's going for a nice little clip in the game. But if he goes full comp mode, I think, again, he's unbelievable. I don't think people give Aaron.
He's my honourable mention, but I really rate Aaron. That's why I didn't.
That's what I mean. I don't think people give him enough respect for how good he is. Again, when he puts his head to it, he's a lot better than what you'll see Alvin generally. But yeah, he's good overall as well. Champs, I agree with Kyle. I think Kyle and Brooks, both of them, unbelievable in mentals, in knowing where to be on the field, the whole game, the whole series. Just majority of the time is GC or higher. I think it's crazy because obviously my style always just been the mechanical one. Brain sense came later for me, but yeah, it's good to see the opposite. And then I would say Atomic Loopy as well.
That's a good shout.
I think he's an incredible player. Yeah, again, like Rex, I've been keeping an eye on him as well. But that'd be my 6 players.
Mr. Jonah?
I'm going with Rex.
Yep.
Eclipse.
Yep.
And Webrahim, I think. And for Webrahim is just because he's like not the flashy mechanical guy as a GC, but like the smart one, and that's what I like. And I think that's why some people might have think like, oh, he's not that good of a GC, but then he plays you, and it's like, oh, he's insane because he plays so smart. And for my champs, I'm going with Brooksy and Kyle as well. Yeah, what you guys already said. Your guys are not the most mechanical guys. I mean, you're still trying to keep it up. It's going pretty good. And as my last champ, who had I in mind? Where did he go?
Lost it. It's run
Luminity.
off.
No, Luminity. I think Luminity, I mean, is not the best, most insane champ player, but I think he can grow real far, like being much better and better and better if he keeps playing. So that are my picks.
So to cover my champs, Kyle, you know, pretty much everyone's already pointed out, you know, the way that we play, a lot of third man, a lot of, you know, we're needing to be where we need to be to allow the team to play of how they want to play, you know. So you're my first one. My second one goes to Gonzalo. You know, Gonzalo, he's a very good player, you know. You know, he features it near enough every week now, you know, and I think everyone looks the other way for when they look at obviously GeForce. You know, Halo now obviously going to be taking a lot of the limelight for GeForce, but you know, throughout the difficult time that GeForce have had, you know, Gonzalo's always been there. He's always, you know, he's tried his best, and you know, he's played a very good, you know, he's played very, very well. And my next one goes to yourself, Aspect. You know, I don't think a lot of people give you a lot of credit of what you're able to do. And I think a lot of that falls down onto the mental side of things. You know, you put yourself down a lot. You know, you take a lot of the blame for things that go wrong in a game when, you know, realistically you probably shouldn't. But you know, mechanical wise, you know, you're up there with a lot of the players within this. You know, you're capable of a lot of stuff. But yeah, so for me, the third one is Aspect.
What's that saying, mate?
Cherry and apple.
I don't think Cherry and Apple's a player.
Pick a spoon.
How do you know?
I don't see any Cherry and Apple. That one player or two players?
Two.
That's his silent bit. That's his player silent.
But yeah, so they're my three chumps.
Thank you.
But yeah, so you know, rounding off is, you know, we've got the cup underway now. You know, we've had the first two groups, Group A and Group B. Sitting in that is Velocity and Finish go through. In group, that's disaster. In Group A, and Juice and Miracle go through in Group B. You know, we do have, you know, the other two groups this week. You know, this Tuesday and this Wednesday. Kyle's going to set everything up. You know, Kyle and Reptic are going to set times and put everything forward. I believe tomorrow.
I'm going to do the times tomorrow. If you're free, Reptic, tomorrow afternoon.
Can I ask a question?
No.
Yeah, what's up?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know our games are on Tuesday, right? Well, what group are we? We're Group C.
Yep.
Our games are on Tuesday. Do you know who will be casting them?
Oh.
Huh?
Yeah, on the Tuesday it will be me, and then I don't think we've decided yet what's happening on the Wednesday, if Reptic's going to do it or if I'm going to do it. But I have asked people to cast, and I can't remember who I asked, so I will be trying to figure the two people out. But Killian will be doing one game, so it'll be me and Killian. Yeah, was Jeffo? I think Jeffo was one, so me and Jeffo. And I can't remember who the other one was.
Okay, next
try
question.
and figure that out.
Next question is, who do you guys think are going through in Group C and D?
Well, we'll get onto that question later. But we'll discuss the groups that have happened first, and then
yeah, fair enough. Sorry, jumping ahead of time.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right.
You don't have to, no.
But I just want to start it off by saying a big thank you to the community, because without your cooperation, this cup would be a disaster, because it's not, as loose as other things where you get to say, I can't make this night, I can't make that night, but you've all jumped together and made it work so far, and I can only thank you for that. And just keep it up and keep supporting the B channel. Get those. We're so close. We just need to hit sort of stream numbers now, and that second channel will be affiliated. That's a very clever positioning of the microphone, Brooksy.
Let me just follow the BT.
Yeah, if you haven't yet done. But yeah, just a big thank you to every one of you.
Followed it on my phone.
Let them know I'm in peace. But yes, I think we should definitely speak about, we'll start off with Group A, and what a group that was, by the way. G-Force, new look G-Force. No offense to Grizz, but Grizz's ping was having ping issues and FPS issues, which didn't help. But a big respect to Grizz for filling in under those circumstances. And on another day, if Grizz was on his usual setup, I think G-Force surprised, because that's another player I'm actually going to just throw in two underrated players, and that's Little Grizz, because when he's actually on steady ping and on steady FPS, he's a good wee player, and he's an honourable mention. A lot of people underrate him and think, oh no, it's Grizz. No, don't. If Grizz is on your team, have confidence and faith in him. I watched him play, his wee trial match that he had for an ERS team, which big congrats got sub for. And yeah, he can play the game, and he's that young. He's only going to keep getting better, and I think I've been saying this for a while. But yeah, the group was a pleasure to cast. Thank you to GCI, Dwarf, and Jonah for coming in, and it was a pleasure to commentate with all three of you.
Yeah, no problem.
The games were phenomenal. Velocity looked really good. Really good, and they will be a tough team, a very tough team to beat. Like, I thought that they're going to be tough to beat, but a big part of the reason why I thought I'll let them play is because I know that they haven't been active, especially Ertzi and Bonk. They haven't been active, so their skill level's going to have dropped a wee bit. And as a team, they haven't played much together at all. And yeah, Velocity really impressed me by really dominating, finished, and really deserved to go through as winners.
I don't think there's much more that you can cover on that. Velocity yet again showing exactly what they're about, what they're capable of, and unfortunately for like you say, for Finish, they haven't played together as regularly as what they were playing together. Obviously, unfortunately, we couldn't keep them around for especially Ertzi and Bonk. Obviously, we kept Jazz around within Euphoria, but unfortunately, we couldn't keep Ertzi and Bonk around. They all ranked up. They all hit ranks that they wanted to stay together. They wanted to play as them three. and unfortunately, the rules that we have set doesn't allow them. As like you say for GeForce, thank you to Grizz for filling in. It's because otherwise there wouldn't have been a game at all. And so I appreciate that you helped Kyle out. You're not helping me out on this one. You're helping Kyle and Reptic out for this. It's their thing that they're running alongside the whole league. So with you say you had Gonzalo in. Obviously Gonzalo's played a little bit more with DP than what Grizz has. It adds that little bit of chemistry in. So the results could have been different, but on the day, I appreciate you filling in, Grizz. Like I say, there wouldn't been a game otherwise. Gonzalo couldn't make it. Otherwise, then it's just easier who goes through. But yeah, what I caught of it, I were at work for it, so I tried to tune in as much as I can, and it was some good games, some exciting games.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
So I just want to point out, like, it's crazy to see how much better Velocity have got. Because if you think, I was just thinking about this. They went from, was it week 1 week 1 or 2 getting swept by Miracle, to coming into the cup dominating probably the most dominant or one of the most dominant teams in BGCS history. It's like, it is crazy to see how much Velocity have improved, and it's also scary because just think how much Velocity might improve next season if they stick together. Trident has gone from being maybe like a mid-table champ to being the top end of champs, nearly pushing GC. It's scary how much this team has improved, and it's also scary to see to guess how much they will improve in the further or foreseeable future.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. And I'm going to pass on the lead to Reptic because I didn't see any of B because I was engaged in my ERS journey.
You're on about B, yeah?
Yeah. You ran that one.
Yeah. All the games were really close. All very entertaining to cast. We also brought a cast friend from RSC and ERS in to see how she performed, and I think everyone was impressed. And a lot of people knew her, so that's good.
Yeah, a shame that it was cut short. That's all I'm saying. And
so I was gonna say, it's a shame that there's a couple of problems throughout that day. You can't predict it. It's unfortunate. And
I think we'll definitely give her another chance to come on again.
And I think between you two, it was going to be one of you that the PC dies, the internet went. It was going to be one of you that it was going to happen on. And Kyle had the the look of the draw. It didn't go on him. And unfortunately for you, Reptic, you were the one that it fell on.
The funny thing about that is I thanked my PC as soon as I ended stream. I was like, "Thank you, PC. You got through it," and it instantly crashed as soon as I thanked it. So my PC is a dickhead. Sorry to the YouTubers out there, but it has to be said.
What did I say?
Yeah, we don't know.
All the matches were close, as I said. After Jasper couldn't make it back because typically when I crash, she crashed, but she couldn't get back on. GCI came in, did the other 2 matches with me. There was a dramatic increase in his skill in casting from when he casted with Kyle, from when he casted with me, modern GCI.
Yeah, well, very much. That was his first time casting for GCI with me. And I just let him do his thing. And I just calmly said after it, gave him a wee pointers, and he clearly listened and improved, and yeah, well done.
Yeah, I mean, as much as it's new for you, it's also new for me. I very rarely do casting, so it was a learning experience for everyone else that cast with you and me as well. Yeah, I mean, as I said, Group B was very interesting. They were all very close games, even though some of the results were like 3-0, 3-1s. Wait, were there any 3-0? Well, 3-0, 3-1s. All the games were extremely close, extremely entertaining. Yeah, pretty much what I can say about Group B.
I don't think there's anything else that you can really add to these. You know, we don't really have player stats this season. You know, it's something that if this does carry on for next season, we will look to add player stats how we have got it for BGCS. You know, it's going to add that little bit of competition for everybody. You know,
we just wanted to keep it nice and simple. This is essentially the trial run. See how things went. See how interested you guys were. So we just wanted to keep it plain and simple, and just let it sort of run without, too much effort on the back end of, stats wise.
Yeah, 100%.
But definitely next season, if you've all enjoyed it, if Brooksie enjoys it and wants it to happen again, I'm down for doing it again and taking it, that bit more serious to have full stats. And it basically run like BGCS, but just, like a complete different format. And just something for that will always be for hopefully the subs to play, because as we have witnessed, there is a lot of unused subs that don't get much game time, and I think that will always happen in BGCS, and that is the main point in this, to let the people that don't get to play much in the league play. And also it's a good way for the way it's been working, if teams, because it's a lot more loose and we're allowing outside help, as long as the players of, equal ability, as the player that they're replacing, they can come in and help out a team. And that just draws more people in, because they might come in and go, oh, I like this. What is this? It's BGCS here, and they could create teams, and that's how it grows, by just word of mouth and expanding.
Well, obviously, just one point to add into that is they can't have played for another team within BGCS. It's got to be, a completely brand new player that's, either from your own community. That obviously we've got different communities joining in now. So if it's it's from your own community, or you can pick one up in within hours. But as long as, like Kyle said, there is the same rank as what they should be replacing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they said it, but it's crazy how much support we had on the streams both days. I mean, everyone that normally comes here was there, and to be honest, I didn't expect the amount of people to watch the cup compared to the amount of people that just watched the normal BGCS season. I think it was roughly the same. I really didn't expect that, and obviously that's a thanks to everyone in the chat here and everyone that's not in the chat. But yeah, that was crazy to me. Like 50, I think it's 55 followers in basically 2 days worth of work is crazy.
So this is where we move on to what Aspect was asking. Moving on to Group C and moving on to Group D. Are you two splitting the week like you did for the week before?
Most likely.
Yeah, that's completely up to Reptic. If he wants to do Wednesday, then yeah, I think that's the fairest way to do it. This joint project, like Reptic. All I will say is, try and invite some members of the community that are interested to come on and join. I want a nice mix, because that's another thing, is to give, you guys experience casting. And there's no offense to Brooks. Brooks is very picky of who he lets on to cast with him. And yeah, this is a good way for you guys to show what you can bring to the table and learn, and show to Brooks, look, this is what I can do if you need casters in the future, because as BGCS grows, we're going to need more people to cast. It can't always rely on just me, Brooks, and Killian, and then occasionally Reptic. So this is just a good way to like everyone to get involved in every way that they can with BGCS.
Yeah, 100%. It brings new talent in. Did you want to go through the games for Group C, Carl?
Yeah, I'll go through Group C then. So yeah, Group C, if I believe right, is Vision X.
You can see the games.
Yeah, but I think I know it off my head. Vision X, Resurrection, and Fearless 5. Thank you, because I forgot that one. I think that's going to be.
I've memorized it.
I think that's going to be a very tough group. It's hard to put predictions on because we don't know what teams exactly are going to play, but going off the sort of base of it, I think Fearless 5 and Vision X would go through, but from what I believe, Vision X are going to, let Cryptic play, and I think that gives Resurrection a good chance to come in and, steal the way into that game. And I think Fearless 5, because they rotate anyway, and they're comfortable in that way, I think they go through winning it. And yeah, I think Resurrection can sneak in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Group D is Lotus, Atlantis, and Euphoria. And immediately, what strikes my head is obviously Euphoria goes through, but Lotus and Atlantis, I think it's going to be close, extremely close.
Well, I can tell a wee bit of Atlantis have 2 players that don't play for them, but are from not Atlantis, Lotus. Yeah, Lotus have 2 players coming from the Lotus community coming in to play for them. One's called Pat, who's a GC2, and I've heard is a very, very good player, and is a good replacement for Eclipse. And the other one is, I've had the pleasure of speaking to already, is a little Scottish lad. So I'll definitely be, cheering on them to finish second.
Colt.
Yeah.
Colton, wasn't it?
Yeah, Colton. I'm just getting my DMs up because they're in there somewhere. Yeah, Colton, who's C2. But I'll need to get the links off of Eclipse, some trackers, just to double check. Yeah. But yeah, I say we go through our predictions. Everyone just go through a prediction for each group. I've gave mine.
I don't know whether anyone saw GCI in chat there that Vision might not be able to.
I just saw that. I was thinking the same thing.
I'm gonna sort it out GCI with you, so don't worry. We'll sort it out after. You will have a team.
I knew you would, but just
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough, for Group C. There's a lot of changes in them teams that makes it very even. Hopefully we'll get to see Loopy within Fearless 5.
I heard him in chat saying that he is playing in the cup.
So it's going to be interesting to see how he gets on. We had that first game that he played, and he played absolutely unbelievable in it. So it's going to be nice to see him in. For me, tough. It's tough with there only being 3 teams in it, because all them 3 teams there are all good. I'm gonna go with Fearless 5 and then Resurrection. So Fearless 5 to top the group and Resurrection to finish second. Just obviously we don't know what's gonna happen in Vision. From my point, who's gonna be playing. But I think they're, like I say, I think they're all pretty even. Fearless 5 tops it and Resurrection second.
Yeah.
Well, I would just like to point out that because it's on a Tuesday, and our games might be like at 7, JW might have to play some of them. Well, he has to play some anyway, and I think I will be the one to sub out for him.
Yeah.
Because I know that Hamish and JW play ERS together, so they've got chemistry.
Mhm.
And then I think I think our team will be in some of the games Crispy, JW, and Hamish, and then other games will be Crispy, Hamish, and me. I think that's how we're going to line up.
Yeah, so
I think Christian's going to play in the cup. I think he said he doesn't want to.
Yeah, so that's the thing with the sub rule is but if your subs can't play, then they can't play. There's nothing that can be done about that. We'd rather you have a team than no team. So if the sub can play, they have to play one game. If they can't, then you just play your full team, and it is what it is.
Yeah,
it's what happened with Velocity. Their subs couldn't. Well, they only had one sub, and he couldn't make it, so their full team got to play.
What's everyone else's predictions for the group?
Group C. Oh, that's difficult actually. I think all of them are close.
It is hard to leave someone out.
I'm just gonna go with my gut. I reckon Fearless 5 Vision make it through. Reason, to be honest, I don't really know. That's just my gut feeling.
Yep. That's as good a reason as any, mate, in that tough group.
Jonah?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
He's awake. I've not heard him speak in about 20 minutes.
I think Fearless 5 at top, and then Vision X, and then Resurrection.
And I think, you've Aspect still got to say what you think.
Well, I think Fearless 5 top, us second, Vision X third. Because obviously I don't know what's going to go on with Vision X. And I think, personally, if Dwarf isn't playing, I think Vision X are by far a completely different team. They don't have the same mentality. They don't have the same IQ, rotations, and all of that.
I definitely agree, but Cryptic, I will say, me, Jeffo, and Cryptic scrimmed GCI, Brian, and Dwarfbutt, and Cryptic, if they can get a system that works and allows Cryptic to be Cryptic, and they can sort of, pick up his mistakes that he will make. Yeah, he's looking dangerous, but that's also if Cryptic can play in that form as he did in that scrim, and he has been playing recently. So I wouldn't sleep on Cryptic, but it is. It's Dwarfbutt's a significantly better player to Cryptic. No offense to Cryptic, but Cryptic's he's improving, and he's listening to all the times we've played 2s and 3s with him, Brooksy.
Yeah. There's some disastrous games. I'm not, but I've seen Cryptic play recently, and you have improved a lot to what we used to play at. When we, like you say, me, Kyle, and Cryptic. It's some different games in there, and it's you have improved, and I think the more people that you play with, you're learning off other people. You're playing with Jeffo, you're playing with Dwarf, you're getting the experience from Dwarf. GCI, GCI is a very good player on his day, so you've got players around you that you're now playing with that you're also going to improve from. You're playing a lot of 6-mans. The 6-mans queues started going again. It started working more. Everyone's starting to join that again, so you're getting your experience from 6-mans. So you're doing good.
And then Group D. I've still no idea what Euphoria is doing.
I think this is an easy one.
Yeah.
Euphoria, Lotus, Atlantis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's the obvious. I think even we're quite in the luxury. Obviously, we don't have a GC sub, so because we sacrificed. We could get one, but I think Jeffo can play every day, every week. So we're good in that way. And then, me or Panic stepping out for Aqua, even though the comms aren't the best, Aqua's still a hell of a player.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's still a hell of a player. He would come in and Aqua will play cup games. It might be the one, it might be the both. We don't know about that yet.
Kyle, did you say you don't have a GC sub? What happened to Jasmine?
Well, he plays for Finished, doesn't he?
Oh, I'm so stupid. Forget that I said anything.
No, he's been asked about 100 times from different people, mate.
Yeah, I'm used to the question though.
Wait,
I forgot that Finish are actually in this.
You don't have a GC?
GC sub.
No.
Oh, I didn't know.
Just like Jonah, he doesn't care about the cup, Jonah.
No, I don't care about that.
We heard that so many times the other day.
Said that about 10 times in 3 minutes.
I mean, I can do a test.
I'm actually gonna go bold with my prediction.
Oh.
I think Lotus topped the group.
I think the same thing.
Good
I think Lotus, Euphoria, Atlantis.
Yeah, I have the same prediction.
I
Lotus on top.
I just think Lotus are gonna. I think Lotus have a chance of maybe possibly winning the cup.
Yeah, they were definitely up there. But as I say, they've got two unknown players. These two players could be the best players in the world, or they could be duffers. No offense to the player duffer. But yeah, we just don't know. Like, they could come out and just blitz everyone.
I was gonna go with Lotus because we don't know who the players are, but Brooks tried that with one of the teams at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And that didn't go so well, so I'm just gonna stick with the easy one, I would say, and go Euphoria Lotus.
That's a bit outrageous, I'm not gonna lie. Call me straight out. Yeah, but
predicted a team to be first. But
on the flip side of this, I also said they could also finish bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I'm technically right.
Yeah,
I just love it how you've put a team at top and they've got the big duck egg.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's why I also put them as the flip side as the bottom, because
try to cover your back.
Yeah, I had to, because you get teams like that where they will come in and you expect we get to see trackers. Obviously everyone else doesn't. Obviously, moderating team gets to see all the trackers. So based off ranks that we got given when they started, it looked a very strong team. I think there's at least 2 C3s and a GC high GC1, low GC2. As the starting team was. So that based as a team looks a strong team, but they unfortunately didn't have the mental, didn't have the chemistry, and it's chopped and changed so many times with Atlantis. But yeah, I like you that you've called me out on that. Cheers for that, Reptic.
There are always more.
You're going to get called a melt again, Reptic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just one other thing for the cup is just keep an eye on the information page. Everything will be posted in there. I'm going to try and tag, as I did yesterday. I tagged each team individually, and I'm going to try and do it that way, and rather than just a big general announcement, I'll tag each team that's playing on what day, so obviously after these two group games are finished, the next week will be, the uppers round 1. I think, have you fixed the picture that was wrong in information channel, Reptic?
No,
we'll need to fix, because that was missing a complete day out of the picture. So yeah, that will be uppers round 1 will be on the Tuesday, and then the lowers round 1 and the uppers round 2 will be on the Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll do announcements like how we do with the groups, like a day or two before as well.
But I'm going to try and do them on the Friday nights or the Friday during the day because I'm not working, and that gives everyone 4 or 5 days to make sure. And you'll have a time limit of till Sunday if you can't get a team together to get players in replace. You'll have the Friday to the Sunday.
Yeah, because the playoffs are going to be a bit more hectic for us, so we can't be doing as much messing around for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm glad you guys have got that stress and not myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I appreciate that. Everyone's kind of listened to what Kyle and Reptic have said. You've gone to them if you've got the problems, or you've added them in the chat in Discord. If no one's really come to me, and I appreciate it. Obviously, like I say, I'm pretty much not in the dark. I know to a certain extent of what's going on, but I haven't set this up. Dates, times of how it's being run on the day. That's not on me, as much as these guys have put it all together. These guys know more about what's going on when they want to stream it, when they want to run it, when they want people to turn up. And I appreciate you both for doing what you're doing. Casting it, on the new channel. That's going to be used hopefully a lot more in season 3. We're looking at getting a lot more teams in for next season. And I won't be able to cover them. I won't be able to cover every single game on this channel. There's not a chance. Even if I wanted to, there's no way I'm doing it. Just with everyone's times of when they're available and when they're not available, it's going to be difficult.
And that's only a good thing, because that means that you're growing and progressing, and that's what we all want.
So the B stream will be, a lot more active. Obviously, me and you, Kyle, have already spoke about certain things for the B stream of what we can add on to it. A couple of show matches, revive, kind of the thing that you yourself, Reptic, you brought to the table, and then never brought it to the table ever since.
Done 1 week, and that was it.
I tried it out, and I was like, nope.
But I think it does have a lot of potential, and obviously for us to get the streams in to to offer something for these guys on the other channel. If you and Kyle, or Kyle yourself, you just want to run them. It's a little addition that not only all the community can get involved in, but it's also growing that second channel and getting a different base in, as well as So that's something that we've got lined up. And like I say, if there's any suggestions or anything you think that we should change, or anything that you think we should add, whether it be the cup, whether it be the BGCS, please either DM one of us, or there is a suggestion channel within the Discord. So put your suggestions in there. But yeah, once again, I appreciate you both for putting it all together. I appreciate everyone that's come and commentated with you guys. GCI, Dwarf, Jasper. Gonna miss names off here because I can't remember everybody. I went in and out at chat all the time.
Jonah.
Yeah, Mr. Jonah, Mr. Autocorrector.
And that was it. It was just the 4, yeah. Well, the Jonah autocorrect bot needs to come out at some point.
But not only that, but everyone turning up on time, making it run smoothly, as smooth as it did. I sat and watched that while I were at work, and I don't think that could run any smoother. From a viewer point of view, I don't think that could have gone any smoother than what it did. Obviously we had the little part where Reptic crashed, but I think that was dealt with, that was sorted, and I still think it still ran smoothly with that little interruption in. And it's a big shout out to all you guys that are here watching, within the community that turn up on time and listening to these two that are trying to put something nice together for you guys.
Yeah, and that is like, we can do everything to prepare for it, but the smoothness that it runs on the day is all down to the players being there on time. And I can only say on the Tuesday, every team was there, bang on time, ready to go. and I can only respect everyone for that. And big thank you to you, Brooks, when I came to you with the idea that you were happy to let it run, because I really enjoy it, and it's.
Well, like I said, we ran the 2v2 tourney, which will probably make a return again. But like I said to you, I were happy with how that ran, and putting it onto a larger scale of this kind of format. I don't have any problems with it. I'm always open to ideas. This is the thing. I'm always open to ideas. I'm always open to suggestions. Anything that will help us grow. But on top of that, who'd have thought we'd have had a second channel as well?
Yeah, that shows how far it's came from when I joined. What I don't even know, a year and a half ago, maybe. And it was. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but it was just a wee tin pot idea that you had that is going, where it was literally just you and Cal. That was all. There was no me, there was no Reptic.
Yep.
I don't think Jonah and Killian were, I think they may have been mods for the Twitch, but they weren't involved. It was just, and now it is becoming a big operation, And I'm just so proud of this community and yourself, Brooksie and Cal. And you need a big shout out, Brooksie, that you've stuck by it, because there has been hard times that in between season 0 and season 1.
Yeah.
I thought it was done for, and then I came back and it was all ready to go, and it's only been up from there. And a big shout out to you for.
I mean, it's
sticking with it.
Yeah, it's what you've just brought up there. It's tough. It's very, very tough. I've done this multiple times, not on Twitch, but the YouTube route. I've been down it so many times, and Cal's been with me every step of the way, and I've always chucked it off. Nope, not happening. Doesn't work. Can't get a community, can't be bothered with it, spin it off. And, this was the last chance. This was the last chance saloon, basically. And if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. And here we are 2 years on, and, what a team we've built. The boys behind the scenes and the girls behind the scenes. Kyle, Reptic, Jonah, Killian, Wolf, Cal. Obviously... Levi as well. Levi's working on something behind the scenes. I can't tell you too much about it because I want it to be a surprise. But he's also working on something behind the scenes. But like Kyle said, a big shout out to the community. Because without you guys, nothing runs. Without the 11 teams that are in the league, I don't have a league. Without you guys turning up and playing, there's nothing. So I appreciate everybody. I think that pretty much rounds off, very nicely for this week's podcast.
I mean, of course, what you already said, like big shout out to Cal, because you don't see everything that he's doing behind the scenes. Like he's working on a lot of stuff.
But that's one person that stuck by me a hell of a lot. And to still be here after someone's fobbed off so many ideas for so often, and for him to come back and put everything together, look at the overlays that we have, that's not just on me, the overlays that we'd have wouldn't be as good. I put an overlay together and Cal changes it all and makes it look a lot more professional. And without that person, we wouldn't have what we've got.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that just shows the good teamwork that you two have together. Yeah. And that is true friendship, and that you can take each other's advice, and you can have the humility to let him be like, no, that's not right, change this. And yeah, Cal's such a talented person. It's unbelievable.
But yeah, I think that wraps up this week. Thank you, Mr. Aspect, for coming on. I appreciate it.
No problem. Very much. A very big pleasure.
Good luck for your game next week.
You too.
Shall I look at someone?
Right.
And I think that's it. That's it from myself. I think that's a big lengthy podcast today. We've covered pretty much everything.
Oh yeah, that was, and I'm surprised I made it through it. Normally I'm falling asleep by 10:30. 10:15. I'm like, but no, I've really enjoyed that. It's probably my favourite podcast I've been involved in. That was really good. So thank you, everybody.
Fine.
I have someone if you want.
Should raid that Broxy guy.
Aspect.
It's someone that I follow. His name is Deep Energy One. He's a cool.
Just type
streamer.
in chat for me.
What chat? Oh, what stream?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, once again, guys, thank you so much for coming and stopping by and watching the podcast. I appreciate it. If you missed some of it, you didn't see some of it, then it's going to be uploaded tomorrow at roughly 4 p.m. BST, which is 4 p.m. UK time. So I shall catch you all sometime next week. You have got the cup on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. That will be over on the second channel. So obviously, if you go and make sure you are subscribed to that. Not subscribed. Make sure you are followed to that one. That's the YouTube one coming out on that one. Make sure you go and follow. That's where all the games are going to be run. And thank you for coming and stopping by.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you
Much
for
fun.
listening.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.